5.2 Pythagorean identities. There's a known fact that sine of theta is equal to y and cosine of theta is equal to x. The unit circle radius has a hypotenuse that is equal to 1. Here we have a right triangle, y representing the opposite, x representing the adjacent, and 1 representing the hypotenuse. Y squared plus x squared equals 1, similar to the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Identify the sides, legs, and hypotenuse. You plug in known values. The sine squared of theta plus the cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. This is known as identity 1. To derive the tangent identity as it relates to x and y, tangent squared of theta is equal to y divided by x. So tangent squared of theta is equal to sine squared of theta divided by cosine squared of theta. To further derive by using the first identity, you divide by cosine squared theta. Sine squared of theta divided by cosine squared theta is tangent squared theta plus cosine squared theta divided by cosine squared theta is equal to 1. And 1 over cosine squared theta is secant squared, which is reciprocal. To further derive the third identity, you must identify the prior Pythagorean identities. Sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. Tangent squared of theta plus 1 is equal to secant squared theta. Those used were sine, cosine, cosecant, tangent, and secant. So the third identity must include secant and cotangent. The next identity must include cotangent squared of theta is equal to cosine squared of theta, which is x, divided by sine squared of theta, which is y. We're deriving it by using the denominator sine squared of theta. Sine squared of theta divided by sine squared of theta is 1. Cosine squared divided by sine squared is cotangent squared theta. And it's equal to cosecant squared theta because of its reciprocal, 1 divided by sine theta. Sine squared. 1 divided by sine squared, which is identity 3. The quotient identities in reference to this right triangle where it's a 90-degree triangle, r is the hypotenuse, y is the opposite, x is the adjacent. Tangent of theta is y divided by x. In terms of sine and cosine, we must multiply the numerator and denominator by 1 over r. Tangent of theta is equal to y divided by r, which is sine, and x divided by r, which is cosine. To rewrite and include the functions, tangent of theta is equal to sine of theta divided by cosine of theta, and its reciprocal, which is the other quotient identity, is cotangent of theta, cosine of theta, x divided by sine of theta, y.